Tonight we have softball from the Bowl Mart with Al Ryan at the microphone. This will be followed by Park Safari with music from Al Ryan's band from Florida. This will be followed by a baseball game taped last Tuesday. Dick Letourneau doing the play-by-play. Here's Al.
Welcome to Bowl Mart Field here in Rouse's Point, or Champlain, if you will, or someplace in between. We're about to bring you the softball game between D&D and Harbec. And as we come to you, we have Richard Perrier, the first hitter for make that Roland Perrier for D&D. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes. And finally got a strike in there. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. And this is trying to figure out who the pitcher is here. We'll have this for you in just a minute. In any event, there's a foul ball.
Pitcher is Tony Musso, Al.
Tony Musso. Okay, Calvin Castine here with me. That was that magic voice you heard in the background there. I think the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tony Musso working to Roland Perrier here in first man up in this ball game. Full count. Ball 3, strike 2. Here's the pitch. Swung on. There's a bouncer to third, picked up by the third baseman Young and thrown, by the third baseman Randy Trombley and thrown across to Randy Tatro, and it's not in time, and the runner has reached. So that brings up another Perrier. This one the pitcher for Harbec, and his name is Kenny Perrier, left-handed hitter. Tony Musso pitching, man on, nobody out. Top of the first inning.
I've never seen Kenny without his cap on, and now I can see why.
There's a bouncer hit back to third. Trombley up with it, goes to second, and they get a force out there. Randy Trombley firing over to Danny McGee to get the force out at second base, and Kenny Perrier reaches on a fielder's choice. So there's 1 man out and 1 man on, and here is the designated hitter, Mike Gadway. Calvin, we got a nice night for a ball game here.
It's a beautiful night.
All of it, fortunately, it's all going to have to be under the sunshine because the lights have gone again, I understand.
They've gone for the second and final time.
Final time, huh?
There'll be no 3 strikes on those lights. I guess they blew up again last week.
That's a strike. Tony Musso working to Mike Gadway, the DH. Pitches outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Catcher you see back there is Tom Menard. There's a line drive hit into left field. Back in the corner. Danny Labonte picks it up. The runners are heading for second and third respectively, and they make it. So I guess that will go as a 2-base hit for Gadway. And going to keep score here. We better start, I guess.
That's Denny Laporte out in left field out.
Okay, Denny Laporte in left field.
The son of Merrill Laporte, you probably remember.
Son of Merrill Laporte, right. Larry Jesser.
Vassar
is now the hitter. There's the ball. D&D on the year is 7 and 16, and Harbec is 9 and 16. They're in different divisions. That catch is made by the third baseman Trombley, and there are 2 men out. 2 men out, 2 on. And here is Ralph Graves, the shortstop. Ralph Graves is a right-handed pitcher. Tony Musso ready to work, and does. Pitches inside, bounced right back to the mound. Musso up and over to first base to Randy Tatro, and the side is retired. Don't know if that first one is going to be scored, that batter reaching, the very first batter reaching is going to be scored as a hit or an error. But, Calvin, how did you see it? Because I was busy doing something else here. In any event, there were no runs on either 1 or 2 hits. There were no errors, or there was 1 error, depending on how you want to look at it. The bottom line is no runs scored for Harbec here in the first inning, and we move to the bottom of the first. Coming to bat in this 0-0 ball game, and pitcher Tony Musso leads off for Harbec. First pitch, swung on. There's a fly ball hit back into center field, and that's the rover actually that caught the ball out there. The extra fielder Roland Perrier. So I got to get used to these 4 men in the outfield, Calvin. But then I only see 3. Where's the 4th one?
There's 4 out there.
The other one must be behind a pole or something.
The left fielder's hugging the left field.
Oh, there he is, way over there in the corner. Okay.
We must figure this guy here is going to be a pull hitter.
Okay. And this is Danny McGee, the second baseman. Nobody on, 1 out. There's a little bouncer hit down the third baseline, and it kicks foul. And the pitcher very alertly comes in. That's Ken Perrier, and keeps the ball foul.
That noise that people heard was the umpire, Mad Dog Castine, saying foul.
Is that what that was?
That's what it was.
Gee whiz. Okay.
No, do not adjust your sets, folks. That's the umpire. The other umpire out there is Dennis Phillips at first base.
Dennis put on a little weight. Or at least over the last few years he has. There's a bouncer right back to the pitcher. Should be an easy play to first, and it is. So there are 2 out as Danny McGee is retired. And we now have the 3rd hitter of the inning coming up for Harbec, and that's Fazette, Gary Fazette, the extra fielder, the rover, if you will. Hits a foul ball out into the flats out there by the trailers, way over to our right. Count goes no balls and 1 strike. Umpire doesn't like that ball, so he's going to throw it out. He'll probably get it back in about 2 minutes and throw it right in there and like it fine.
That's right.
All right, here's the pitch. There's a bouncer back to the mound. Tatro knocks it down, quickly recovers, throws to first. The side is retired. No hits, no runs, no errors. Nobody left. And Calvin, if it keeps up at this rate, we won't be here very long.
It's a quick game, Al.
Moving to the top half of inning number 2, and this is Randy Trombley, who is leading. No, it's not.
No, it's Mayette.
Okay, wrong score sheet. This is Mayette, who is leading off, and he is the left fielder, and his first name is, I believe, Darryl. There's a bouncer hit the short. Nice knockdown by the shortstop, but he can't handle it. That's obviously going to go as a base hit, as Mayette beats out an infield single. Nice try there by Ronnie Tatro, but. Okay, we have a man on with nobody out, and here's Steve Young, who was the 3rd baseman. Tony Musso on the mound. Here's the pitch. There's a fly ball hit back into left field. Moving over is Mayette, and he makes the catch, and the throw back into second base. And, no, that wasn't Mayette, was it?
No, Mayette's on first base.
Okay, he can't catch the ball on first base and be in left field, too. However, I believe that was.
Rule against that.
I think that might have been Labonte out there.
No, that was Laporte.
Laporte. Okay.
Denny Laporte.
Okay. So his name isn't Labonte, it's Laporte. We've determined that. And Calvin doesn't write any better this year than he did last year. And I don't read any better than I did last year. This hitter is Bob Wood. I don't think anybody can argue that point.
I don't know. I don't know what Bob Wood looks like, but
he looks like the guy in the batter's box.
He looks like
wears a maroon uniform, glasses, and has a beard.
Okay.
And there he hits the ball into left center field, where the rover Gary Fazette makes the catch. There are 2 out, and Mayette, who is on first base, despite what I might have told you earlier, holds over there. So there are 2 men out, man on first. The left-handed hitter, Kevin Morrow, is the hitter. Tony Musso sets his outfield and infield. Gets ready to work. There's the pitch. Called a ball by Richard Mad Dog Castine, who is doing the officiating behind the plate. There's the next pitch. That's ball 2. 2-0. Mayette on first. Ball 3. Morrow has a 3-0 count. That looks inside, but it isn't. It's a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. And there's a drive hit back out into right field, and moving over and making the catch is Pelkey, the right fielder. And that will retire the side, and there were no runs on 1 hit for D&D, and the score at the end of an inning and a half, D&D nothing, Harbec nothing. In the bottom half of the second inning, Randy Trombley, the third baseman, leads off for Harbec. 0-0 ball game, and the first pitch at the bottom of the second is ball one.
Shadows are long here right now, Al.
Mm-hmm. There's a rip down the third baseline, and the third baseman, Young, cannot handle it. And the runner trying to go to second. The throw is a bit offline, and I would say that would be a base hit, and good hustle got him to second as the left fielder erred in making the throw back into the infield.
Definitely a good throw would have had him.
Mm-hmm. So Randy Trombley is on second base, and here is Denny Laporte, the left fielder. There's a bouncer hit right back to short, bounces over the shortstop's shoulder. They'll be sending the runner, I imagine. The throw is to second base, and Trombley comes in to score as Laporte lines a single to left. And here is Ronnie Tetra.
You can see the shortstop with his hand up over his eyes out there. Anybody on that left side of the field must be looking right into that sun right now.
It would appear that way, yeah. Pitch is a strike. There's a bouncer hit to short again. Shortstop takes the play at second himself and then throws the ball into the parking lot, which will be an extra base. That was Ralph Graves working at shortstop. So there's a force out at second base. Ronnie Tetra reaches on a fielder's choice and goes to second on the throw. And so we have a runner at second with 2 men out. And here is Randy Tetra. Time has been called as there is a discussion involving home plate umpire Richard Castine and the first base coach. Didn't last very long, but a discussion nevertheless. Here comes the ball they probably threw out 5 minutes ago, Calvin.
Very, very possible.
Pitch is inside, ball one. Ball one, no strikes. And there's a line drive into left field for a base hit. We'll see if they try to score this runner. Yeah, they're going to do it. There's the throw into second base to hold a hitter to a single. And on in with the second run comes Ronnie Tetra. And that was Randy Tetra singling to left and being held at second base. Now here is Poisson. Joe Poisson, I believe, is the name on this one. Right-handed hitter. 2 men out, 2 runs in. Runner on first base. Two balls, no strikes. That's a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike now. There's the next one. There's a bouncer, slow roller to third. The third baseman has trouble with it, throws to second too late. And Poisson reaches on an error on the third baseman. So the defense falling apart here for D&D in the second inning. A couple of runs are in. There also been a couple of good solid hits. And this is Pelkey, the right fielder, who was the hitter. 1 ball, no strikes. Calls time, steps out of the batter's box. Dean Pelkey, the right fielder. There's a ground ball in the hole and into left field, and the rover again fields the ball and again goes to second base, and the runner's going to third. There's an overthrow there, but he cannot move up.
I believe the left center fielder out there wasn't paying attention to how many runners were on base.
I would think so. That's a couple of times it looked like he might have had a throw to the plate and a chance to get somebody, but he elected not to do it, and this time he threw behind the runner.
Well, he's just the opposite of what usually happens in this league. A lot of these outfielders just grab the ball and throw home automatically.
This is Menard, who lines the ball into right field for a base hit. There's a throw into second. We have a play at the plate here now. We do, and he is out. However, 1 run does score. I guess we were miscalculating on the outs here, Calvin. I guess there's only 2 out. Denny Bent, that's a single, and he goes to second on the throw-in. Calvin, who's this hitter? Do you know offhand?
Looks like Andre Tetro to me.
Okay, there's a throw to third, and they nip him at third as he attempted to move up on a ball that was momentarily dropped by the catcher, Terry Perrier, and then he turned around and made a fine throw to third baseman Steve Young, who put the tag on the runner. There were I believe there were 4 runs that inning. Let me double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4 is correct. 4 runs, and at the end of 2 innings, it's now 4-0. Harbec leading D&D. All right, trailing 2-0. D&D tries to get back here in the top of the third, and there is a shot off the bat of Tony Perrier. That's way back there, and a nice catch moving backwards and toward the corner by Denny Laporte. So Tony Perrier lines out to left field. Here's Bruce Warren, the right fielder for D&D. Tony Musso is the pitcher, and Tom Menard, or Menard, is the catcher. Probably pronounces his name Menard, does he not?
Yeah, yes he does.
There's a bouncer hit to short. Nice pickup out there by Ronnie Tatro to throw to first, and there are 2 out. Just like that.
Tom is the son of Francis Menard. You probably remember Francis from the Altoona
Sure.
area.
I remember. Who is Francis Menard?
He's Tom's father.
Okay. Here's Roland Perrier.
He had about 18 kids, and Tom's one of them.
Roland Perrier had 18 kids?
No.
Oh, Francis Menard.
Francis
18
Menard.
I see.
18 kids.
You're sure on that number, huh? That's exactly correct, 18?
Oh, 8 and 1.
There's a long foul ball into the left field corner, just clears the fence, and Denny Laporte isn't going to make a good catch on that one because it's out of play.
We appreciate you coming up here to do this ball game, Al, all the way from Vero Beach.
Well, it's a short trip when you consider the length of the game and the value of this game here tonight, between a 7-14 and a 9-14 game. No, it's always a pleasure, and I was here anyway. Here's the pitch.
Later on, if we get a break, maybe you'll bring the viewers up to date on what you're doing down there in the Florida area.
All right, we'll do that. That's a ball. Once again, this is Roland Perrier. Hits a line drive to third base on the first bounce. Randy Trombley across the diamond to Randy Tatro, and the 2 Randys do it again. This time the out is 5-3. D&D has still not scored. They trail 4-0 as we move to the bottom of the third. The bottom of the third. Calvin, you asked me a few minutes ago what I was doing. Pretty much the same thing I was doing last year at this time when I did one of these games, doing a radio talk show on radio station WTTB, an open line talk show in Vero Beach. Been doing that for about 5 years now. There's a ground ball hit past the third baseman and on into left field by Andy Tatro. So he is on with nobody out as Harbec threatens to have another big inning here. Tony Musso, top of the order, coming up.
Tell us a little bit about this team you brought up with you.
Calvin, I had a team of 14 and 15-year-old baseball players up here, and let's catch this pitch. Ball. We played 7 games against area teams. Won 4 out of 7, not quite what we like, but 4 out of 7 is good enough to win the World Series, so I guess we'll settle for that. We played some very good teams. We had some good ball players. Had a young pitcher with me who pitched a no-hitter over in Burlington, beat Burlington 11-0. And the kids had a great time. And there's a line drive into left field by Tony Musso, and it's cut off by the short fielder who throws back into short and holds the other runner, Tatro, at second base. And here is Danny McGee. I'm going to write his name in here a little bigger, Calvin. I won't have that problem again, just in case he gets up again. Danny McGee. Danny McGee is the second baseman. 2 men on, nobody out for Harbec. Pitches outside for a ball. We had a good time. The kids got to tour Plattsburgh Air Force Base, went to an Expos game, went to Ausable Chasm. Keep them busy and they stay out of trouble. There's a line drive into left field, fielded by the short fielder. Waited an extra bounce, or he might have had a play at the plate. And We have runners on first and third, with Tatro having scored the 5th run of the ball game. And I don't know, the short fielder somehow is very reluctant to charge the ball and throw to home plate.
Somebody must have told him to throw to second base at one time, and
he just never forgot it. There's a bouncer to second. That could be 2. Low throw to second, so they only get the force out. But another run scores, and it's 6-0. And this is... we have a runner now on first base who reached on a fielder's choice. McGee was forced at second. Here's Randy Trombley, the third baseman. There are men on the corners at first and third with 1 out. Pop foul. The catcher is moving over, makes a nice try, but Tom Menard cannot get there. Excuse me, that's not Tom Menard. He's the other catcher. That is Terry Perrier, who could not get there to make the catch. They may be brothers. He's going to have a little skull cap there, too, before long. Did you notice that?
didn't notice.
Yeah. There's a line drive hit to left field. Here we go with the short fielder with the ball again. Here comes the throw into the infield. This time he threw to third, and the runner goes to second. So, oh well. That's a base hit for Randy Trombley, and here is Denny Laporte, the left fielder. Men on first and third. 2 runs are in. There's 1 man out, and the score is 6 to. As a matter of the score is 6-0. That's exactly what it is at this point. There's a strike. Men on second and third for Harbec. There is a shot into the left field corner, and it is just foul.
You heard that noise again.
If there was any doubt in your mind, I mean, this is Mad Dog doesn't leave too much doubt when he calls those balls and strikes and foul balls at home plate. Here's the pitch. There is a fly ball deep into left center field. That's going to clear him and into the alley. Cut off by the left fielder, who throws back into the infield. Laporte is on with a double, and 2 more runs are scored. And now it is 8-0. Now here's Ronnie Tatro. Still only 1 man out. And there is another shot into essentially the same spot. However, this time the roving fielder is able to move over. That's Graves, and make the catch. Gets the ball back into the infield. And there are 2 men out. Nobody advanced that time as Randy Tatro comes to the plate. 2 out, 2 on. 8-0 Harbec over D&D. And there's a base hit in the left field. The short fielder charging this one. Again will go to second base. Another run comes in, and it's 9-0 as Tatro bangs a single into left center. Here is Joe Poisson. Joe reached on an error the last time up. Line drive off the pitcher's glove and into center field. Here comes the center fielder trying for a play at third. The throw is not in time, and on the throw to third, the other runner moves up. So that will go as a base hit. He takes second on the throw. And Dean Pelkey, the right fielder, is the hitter. 9-0 now. We have a mercy rule here, Calvin?
Yeah, 15 runs after 5.
15 runs after. Well, they're working on it.
This could be one of those games.
This is the third. There's a bouncer hit to third. That one's going to get through into left field. Here comes 1 run. A second run will score as the throw again is to second base to hold the runner. And it is now 11-0. And I'm running out of room on my paper here. Tom Menard, the catcher, steps in. 11-0. That's Poisson on first base. Two strikes. Popped up along the foul line, back of third, and everybody tries. Nobody can get there, and Dean Poisson, who was hustling toward third, will have to cut back across the diamond and go to first, or back to first.
Dean Pelkey.
Dean Pelkey, excuse me. Poisson is Joe, isn't he?
That's right.
Pelkey's a Dean, and Poisson's a must remember that. And Menard bounces the ball right back to the mound. Pitcher knocks it down and throws over to first just in time. That was Perrier, and the side is finally retired. However, 7 more runs score. And at the end now of 3 innings, score is 11-0. Leads off for D&D, which has some coming back to do. They trail 11-0. That's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 11-0, Harbec over D&D. That's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. These two teams play in different divisions. Harbec is in 4th place in their division. That's the national division with a record of 9-16. D&D is 7-16 in 2nd place in their division. There's a shot hit to right center field, and it bounces off the hands of the roving fielder and will go for an error. And here comes the runner all the way around to 3rd, and that will be Calvin, I believe, a 3-base error.
I'll bet if you look in that D&D book, you'll see a triple in there.
Probably, but they're not going to see one on my sheet. Here's Mike Gadway, the designated hitter, as D&D threatens to get a run here. They trail 11-0. Throw to second, an appeal play. Umpire Dennis Phillips says, forget it. He touched the bag on the way around. Gadway had a base hit last time down the left field line. They're watching that same area this time. That's the ball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Tony Musso works outside again. 2-0. Gadway to be followed by Vassar. There's a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1. 31. 3-1. Perrier leads off 3rd. He will lead off in a minute. Leads off now. He's out. And there's a walk. First one of the ball game to the designated hitter, Mike Gadway. And D&D's job is to get base runners at this point. And they have 2 with nobody out. Here's Larry Vassar, the first baseman. Sounds like a Moore's name. Calvin, is he from Moore's?
I believe he's from that Altona, Scioto area.
Short left field. Here comes the left fielder, Laporte. Cut off by Musso, and they've got the runner hung up, and they're going to run him down. They do. So Harbec trades a run for an out, which is a pretty good trade at this stage of the game. It's now 11-1, but there are 2 men out as they get a double play there.
Yep.
Very good trade.
Darn right, when you're ahead by that many runs, you want those outs. And
here's Ralph Graves.
Bad base running on Gadway's part.
Yes, it was. You need base runners when you're down that far. Try to get them 3 and 4 an inning and come back if you can that way. There's a bouncer hit to short. Here comes Tatro. Throws across the diamond, and he beats it. That'll have to go as an infield hit.
Moving down that line.
I'll tell you what, Calvin, this Harbec team looks like a pretty good fielding team. They've got a pretty good-looking infield.
Yeah.
Just saw a play in the outfield that didn't impress me a whole lot, but the infield...
the times I've seen them, they've allowed a lot of runs, but throwing to the wrong base was a problem.
Errors of omission as opposed to errors of commission.
Yeah.
This is Mayette, Darryl Mayette, who had a single his last time up. D&D has broken the ice here in the 4th, scored a run. There's a shot right up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. And runner stops at second base. The throw in eludes the shortstop, but no damage. Time has been momentarily been called. Steve Young will be the hitter. He flew out to left field the last time. Remember, there are 2 men out, 1 run in, and the score is 11-1. The team at bat, D&D Morrow, trails. They have the 1. The other team has the 11. There is a pop-up to the infield. Shortstop Ronnie Tatro comes in and makes the catch, and the inning is over. 1 run is all they get, Calvin. 1 run for D&D. And they now trail instead of 11-0, 11-1 with Harbec on top.
They're coming back.
Andre Tatro. And he is 1 for 1 on the night. He is the 10th hitter, or the 11th hitter. He's the DH here, I guess, Fly ball, nice try by the left fielder. Make that the roving fielder coming over. Throw to second, almost has him, but the second baseman drops the ball. So I'm going to give him a base hit on that one, Calvin, and then an error on the second baseman because he had him there if he hadn't dropped the ball.
The shortstop would drop the ball. It was
the shortstop. Okay.
It was a long run to catch up with that one.
Had it in his hand though.
Yeah, it would have been a nice catch, but.
But we'll give him a base hit, and we'll call the error on the shortstop, Ralph Graves. And once again, Harbec is off and running. This time in the bottom of the fourth inning. Tony Musso, the pitcher, is the hitter. Bounces the ball through the third baseman's legs, right through the wicket. Left fielder picks the ball up, and the runner at third holds there. Although I'm not quite sure why, because history would dictate they wouldn't have thrown the home plate anyway. Maybe he's just tired from running around the bases. Here's Danny McGee.
Looks like Young forgot to bend that time.
Yeah, went right through the hole. Danny McGee is 1 for 2, bounced out pitcher to first and had a base hit. Had the base hit last inning when Harbec scored 7 runs. Ken Perrier being treated rather roughly here tonight. There's a bouncer to third, and third baseman. Shortstop comes up with the ball, goes to second, and they hold a runner at third. Now that was a pretty decent play. The runner at third was not sure where they were going to go with the ball once the shortstop Graves picked it up. So he retreated, even though he'd started towards home, and by the time the throw went to second, he was heading in the other direction, so couldn't score.
I think if he'd known that Young wasn't going to come up with that at third, he might have ran on that.
I think he would have, too. There's a bouncer up the middle for a base hit, and runner not stopping at second. He's going right around. The throw is into second base, and there is another run. They've got that run back that they lost last inning rather quickly. And here is Trombley, Randy Trombley.
The sun is back out, and the shadows are back.
Danny Trombley reached on an error, reached on a hit rather, make that Randy Trombley in the second, and had a hit last inning. Got another hit now, I think. No, the left fielder coming on, can't make the catch. The ball rolls past him into the wall. 2 more runs are going to score. Here comes Randy Trombley motoring into third, and he's in there. And we're going to give him a 3-base hit on that one. I'm sure they will over there, too. Now, Randy Trombley has a triple, a couple of more RBIs, and it's now 14-1.
Left fielder tried to make a shoestringer out there. And
yeah. Here's Danny Laporte. He tried. It almost got to that ball. Not quite, and it cost him. There's a fly ball and back into left. Here comes Mayat over and makes the catch. The run will score easily, I think, and it does. And it's 15-1, just like that. We're just zipping along here, Calvin.
A lot of first ball hitting.
Not much reason to take it.
Yeah.
Here's Ronnie Tatro. That's a strike.
Interesting little dance that Perrier does on that mound delivering that ball. He kind of... Watusi's out to his right out there, to our left.
I think he's just dodging. They've been going back through the middle so fast, he's trying to guess and dodge right.
Giving a moving target to hit out.
Long line foul ball. The right fielder comes over, Bruce Warren, and gives him his imitation of Olympic diver. Actually slipped out there in right field. The ball rolled foul into the corner. He had no chance on that ball anyway.
He knew the camera was here, and he...
Yeah, that's a pretty good belly flop he did there. And there's a line shot into center field. It will go for a base hit. Cut off there by the roving fielder, Roland Perrier. And that's a base hit for Ronnie Tatro. So Harbec now sends Randy Tatro to the plate, and they lead. I've lost track here. What did I say? What's 14-1?
15-1, I believe.
Okay. And there's a pop-up shortstop going back. Left fielder coming in. Left fielder makes the catch. That's Darrell Myatt. And the inning is over. They pick up 4 more runs. And that looks like 15 runs to me, Calvin. You're right. 15-1 as we move to the top of the 5th inning, which makes it 15-1 at the end of 4. Harbec over D&D. D&D. If he hits a home run with 13 men on, this game will be tied. Actually, his team trails by 14 runs. Here's the pitch. That's a strike. Tony Musso working to Bob Wood. That's high, 1-1. Did Mad Dog ever get hit with a pitch standing there? I mean, does anybody ever turn on one and say, hey, I don't like your call last inning. I'm going to hit a line drive just off to the right?
It's the first time I've seen him umpire, so I don't know if he's...
There's a line shot into left center field. Nice diving try out there by the roving fielder, but again it gets past and goes all the way to the wall. D&D has a runner on third base now with nobody out. So they're a threat to score another run here. And here's Dean Morrow, the center fielder, the left-handed hitter. Bob Wood on third. Appeal play at second base. Once again, they were about as successful as the last time it was tried. He touched the base, apparently. Had a little consultation there at home plate. Have a nice lady who is keeping score, or at least I imagine she's a lady, keeping score for Harbec. Wanting a discussion with the umpire and the catcher. Dick Castine remembered to move to the other side with the left-handed hitter up there, which is good. Ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. No equipment on the catcher. Did anybody ever foul one straight back?
It's not coming with enough force to do any damage.
Right, which is fine if you don't happen to be the guy when it's back there when the uncommon happens. That's a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike. There is a shot hit out into right center field. The roving fielder is right in the right place, although he has to go back a few steps. Makes the catch. Run scores, but again, I don't imagine that bothers Harbec too much because they now lead 15-2 instead of 15-1, but they got an out.
D&D did double their run production on that one.
That's right. Here is Tony Perrier. Looks like he could hit the ball a long ways if he hit it.
Looks like he's got a little bit of help there around the middle.
Yes, he hasn't missed too many meals this week, Alvin.
No. The first one at the table, I'm sure.
And the last one to leave, maybe. Rips a foul ball into the left field area and out of the park. Out onto the highway, maybe. No balls, 1 strike. We are in the 5th. As Skip Carey would say, we have opened yet another 5th. There he runs up and hits the ball to right field. Should be no problem for Dean Pelkey, and it's not. He's got it. 2 men away. And here is Bruce Warren. Warren bounced out short to first his last time up. Score in this game is 15-2. We have...
For those people tuning in to hear Dick Letourneau, he was unable to be here this week. Last week he got lost going to the ball game. Tonight he's got an excuse, though. His mother's having a birthday party.
Oh, do people tune in to watch Dick Letourneau?
No, they could tune in to listen to him.
Oh, I see. Okay, 1 more run for, I believe they have 3 runs now, do they not?
I think it's just 2.
Yeah, it's just 2. I don't know how I got another one written down here. But in any event, they have scored 1 run in each of the last 2 innings, and the score at the end of 4.5. D&D 2, Harbec 15.
They're saying Dick Letourneau's mother's having a birthday. She's 97 years old this weekend, Al. Isn't that nice?
It certainly is. And where are you living next week, Calvin? Because when she finds you, you may be in trouble.
I want to wish her a happy 97th birthday.
I thought she was 30-something.
Oh, somewhere in between there is what she really
Between
is.
30 and 90, yeah. Here in the bottom of the 5th, this is rather a key inning for D&D. They trail by 13. There's a 15-run mercy rule, I understand. So a couple of runs here would put them right out of contention for the rest of the night, just in case they aren't out of contention already. Joe Poisson has a couple of hits. 2 for 2, as a matter of fact. It's ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. And there is a base wrap as Poisson begins the bottom of the 5th with a single to left. Here is Dean Pelkey, the right fielder. Man on first, Poisson on first, nobody out. 15-2 is the score. The team at bat has the 15. There's a shot to short. Gets on by the shortstop. And here comes a runner to third. Here comes the throw. They won't get him. And on down to second on the throw in goes Pelkey. That was a hard hit ball, Calvin, but I think he should have handled that ball, don't you?
I think so, and the sun shouldn't be in his eyes on a grounder like that.
I wouldn't think so. Not unless he is looking in the wrong place.
Yeah. The sun is in his eyes and he's got a problem.
I did notice that. The sun still is up in the sky here in northern New York. Hasn't changed a bit.
Well, it's low in the sky at the moment.
Yeah. Here's the catcher, Menard. He's 1 for 2. Bounced out to the pitcher his last time up. There's a line shot to left field. 1 run and is in. Here comes that all-important second run. Runner scoring falls down at home plate. And that should be the ball game, I believe, is it not?
No, it's the... oh, yeah, it is. It's the bottom of the inning. You're right.
It's all over.
I can see why you were running the scorebook. You're absolutely right. That is the 15th...
17-2.
15th run as far as the lead goes.
Mm-hmm. So what has happened here tonight is that Harbec has easily disposed of D&D Morrow by the score of 17-2. There is a mercy rule which says if one team leads by 15 runs or more at the end of 5 innings, that the game shall be called. And of course there was no way D&D Morrow could come back in this one with Harbec the home team. So when that 15th run, or the 17th run actually, crossed the plate, the game was declared over, and Harbec the winner, 17-2. And that's the way it ended here. And Calvin, once again, for the second time in 2 years, thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for being here, Al. We'll just give the people out there a view of what you look like.
You thought that was necessary, huh?
Well, you haven't gotten any better looking, but not any worse either.
Even in Florida, they don't make oranges out of lemons, Calvin.
Thanks for being with us, Al.
Thank you for having me, Calvin, and it's nice to be here on Channel 21 again, and we'll look forward maybe to bringing a baseball team back next year and maybe sitting in with you another night next summer sometime.